Through all of this, we have seen that muscle tissue uses a lot of ATP, right? And so you should recall from intro bio that cells have free ATP in them, but we have mechanisms at which we can generate ATP, right? So we can generate ATP. Well, so first off, we just have our free ATP inside of the cells, right? We can generate ATP from creatine phosphate. We can generate ATP through anaerobic glycolysis, right, in the formation of lactic acid. Or we can use aerobic glycolysis through the use of oxidative and reduction, right? So these all lead to different amounts of overall ATP production and usage, right? And so these generate respectively 10, about 70, about 670, and about 12,000 muscle twitches. Right, so this can obviously your aerobic glycolysis is going to generate the most amount of twitches, right? And so there are different types of muscle and muscle fibers inside of the body that we talk about. There's what we call type 1 muscle fibers, there's what we call type 2A, and there's what we refer to as type 2B. And these all sort of differ on a variety of different things. So your type 1 is what we refer to as the slow oxidative muscles, right? So these are going to use oxidative. They're going to use oxidative phosphorylation to generate the ATP. They are going to be aerobic in nature, right? Aerobic. And so they're going to have an increased blood supply to them. Okay, so lots of capillary, and they're also going to have a high amount of myoglobin, so lots of oxygen stores inside of the muscle itself. So your type 2 are what we call fast twitch or fast oxidative glycolytic. So these type 2A fibers are sort of a mixture, right, that they are going to use. They're going to be glycolytic, oops, okay, in nature, right? So they're going to use that anaerobic glycolysis, right? But they're going to become oxidative with training. So they can sort of switch back and forth between the two. They're going to have medium blood supply to them, right? And they are going to have a sort of moderate amount of myoglobin. Okay. The type 2 muscles, right, these are going to be glycolytic in nature. So they are going to use anaerobic mechanisms for doing ATP synthesis, right? So they're going to be anaerobic. They are going to have a decreased blood supply, not a whole big blood supply to them because they're not going to use oxidative phosphorylation, right? So they don't need a whole lot of blood going to them, and they don't need a whole lot of myoglobin associated with them, right? So these are known as what we call dark red muscles. This is just red muscle, and this is white muscle. Right, so if you go to the store, right, the easiest thing to look at is difference between your white muscle and your red muscle, right, is looking at the difference between like cod and tuna inside of the store, right? Your cod is going to have white muscle, tuna is going to be red muscle, and that is differences in ecology, right? This is going to be long-lasting muscle, whereas this is going to be short-lasting muscle. So this is going to be quick to fatigue, long to fatigue, right? And so those are the differences in the muscle types.